So, welcome back to another episode of the Self-Development with Tactics podcast. And today, as you can see in the background, first of all, there is no video for whatever reason. Still having certain, probably driver issues with the cam, even if it is integrated and whatnot. I probably have to get one, I guess. But we are going through how to think more effectively by the school of life, which might mean Alan the Button, because in a very little 3-line-ish, it's not a subtitle, but it's a little bit of a paragraph. Derek writes, "Great little book by Alan the Button." So ALAINDE and BOTTON, with quick pop philosophy and life advice, surprisingly good insights on how to be a better friend and listener, using envy writing like Proust, Proust, and the companionship of book subjects. Two kinds of thinking. The first one, figuring out what we would like to achieve, which apparently is a strategy. And the second one, working out how to achieve it, which then is the execution. Strategy is about determining our overall aims. Execution comprises everything that follows once we have decided, and the practical activities required to put our plans into action. We're much better at execution than at strategy. We concentrate more on making money than on figuring out how to spend it optimally. And that is really quite the case, I want to say especially also for me, but yeah, just also for me. I don't really know how to spend my money. Of course, there are some things that I would like to be better, that I would like to improve, things that kind of bother me, things that I'd like to change. But I am also, what's the English word? I don't like spending money. I really don't. In the past few months, I would say year, I have gotten way better with it. So I do spend some money on food that is making me feel better, that is making me able to achieve my goals in terms of my physique and whatever, because it is a huge part of it. On the other hand, I also have spent some money on a microphone in a very recent past, and so on and so forth. So I have gotten better, but I mean it's not comparable quite. But yeah, at school, why should we study this subject? Sounds to most teachers like an insult and a provocation, rather than an admirable speculative mindset. Yeah. It is quite always interesting, like when there's a subject and you really think that you can't use it. There's no reason why you should be having it, because you don't wanna be this, you don't wanna work in this field, and those things. Why the fuck should you learn it? Of course, being like, I don't want to be a mathematician, or a physicist or whatever, so I'm not gonna have to learn fucking maths. No, this does not make too much sense. Of course, and I really believe in that, everyone needs to have the certain basics in certain subjects. Maths being one of them, their mother tongue being the other one, English probably the next one, and so on and so forth. So having like some fundamental education, at least in my point of view, and we all have different opinions, is very fucking important. So, to some degree, yes. And I would say in higher schools. If we seriously ask our acquaintances, what is a good holiday? What is a relationship for? What is a satisfying conversation? Why do we want money? We risk coming across as absurd and pretentious, as though such large questions were unanswerable, whatever. Proust's astonishing ability to catch so many butterfly thoughts and put into words the subtle concepts and tentative feelings that most of us register only in the other airy zones of consciousness, but cannot reach up to and turn into solid words. If we took a given new idea seriously, we might have to abandon a relationship leave a job, ditch a friend, apologize to someone, rethink our sexuality, or break a habit. The mind should be given a routine task to distract it and help it lower its guard. Something quite similar that I thought about today as well. Having a task quite every day, not on a fucking weekly basis, that just lets you think about quite nothing. Giving your mind a bit of a break, whether it is playing games, whether it is drawing, whatever it might be for you. There are many possibilities, and it really depends on who you are, what you like to do, and what you do, and what your day looks like, how much time you're having available, and so on and so forth. I think it is important. I think it makes sense. It's a good thing. We are taught at school, that truly important ideas must lie outside of us. The best way to make a point is to hide that we may have formulated the idea ourselves. The worst answer as to where a thought originated is to remark that it is simply popped into our heads. Our heads are not understood to be where anything especially valuable might lie. This is really how school taught us. I don't know it. So, I don't think that I was taught in school that my thoughts are not worth anything. Our minds are stocked. We have read more than Socrates. We have had as many experiences as Plato. We don't have to get back to university to do yet another degree. We already have the raw material with which to produce available insights. What held us back from writing? We have under-respected our own intelligence. We have not trusted our most powerful intuition. Pay close attention to your real thoughts and feelings. Be brave and tenacious enough to hold on to them, even when they find no immediate echo in the world. Vagueness is a problem because it means failing to pick out what really matters to us. We like a film, but we can't really say why. We can't define what is fascinating. We won't know how to reproduce what has impressed us until we isolate what we really experienced. Which, all of these things, also the paragraph before about writing, and publishing our thoughts, it all has to do with thinking. And trying to figure things out, trying to see things that you're not seeing at the time, that you're not, that for some reason are vanished or behind something else. They are in the background and so on and so forth. So many reasons why one might not be able to see them, but thinking, and especially also writing things down, is probably a great way to get to know those thoughts, to see those thoughts, and to think those thoughts, and then being able to deal with them. In terms of, using them for your own sake, and then being able to make your life better. Go from vagueness to focus. Give yourself the best chance of reaching what you actually seek. Consider what you find exciting, desirable, beautiful, or regrettable. Note how the first answers are large and general, vague, without details. Circle the vagueness and chip away at it. Like Michelangelo with his hammer, with further questions. What do you really mean? What is this unlike? When have you felt this before? How might you put this in different terms? Good thinking is precise. Philosophical meditations. Or meditation. Take time to catch untangible, examine, and confront your worries and ambitions. We each face calls triggered by chance encounters with people, objects, or ideas to change our lives. Something within us knows better than our day-to-day consciousness the direction we may need to go in to become who we really could be. We banish many thoughts from our minds on the grounds that they are crazy. Thoughts that are too mean, flawed, absurd, or pretty to deserve further exploration, but many that could have been of high value if only we had cleared or I'm sorry, dads, to examine them further. Period. How to think more effectively. Think more effectively. We might be able to find something else. Be aware of your goals, plans, and life strategies by planning them with care. Envy can be useful if you know how to analyze it, while death can remind us of what is important. Skepticism can be good when you use it to be objective in your thoughts. Well, I did remember correctly, and I didn't mention it. The School of Life being, I think, is it a network? Well, I don't really know. There might also be a podcast, there might also be a YouTube channel, but it is there is a website. And there are many books. Well, many might be a bit overdone. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. But let's have a quick look at 4minutebooks.com and let's actually see what they are saying and what they think is important. Lesson 1, be actively engaged in deciding what is that you want out of your life and how to achieve it. It is no secret that a person who organizes their schedule and has a little bit of structure in their life will be more productive than someone who sits around all day long and procrastinates after accomplishing the bare minimum. However, the way we organize our life has a significant impact on results. Therefore, it is of utmost importance to learn how to do it properly. Start by including your goals in your daily, monthly, and yearly plans. If you haven't set your goals yet, maybe it is time to pay some attention to this aspect. Ask yourself, what is it that you want to accomplish in life? Once you have that sorted out, make a plan. The first step is to figure out how much time you'll need to accomplish them. Make sure to include your time for thinking and strategizing, which should occupy around 15 to 20% of your time. Yes, it truly takes that much time to come up with a good plan. Then step out of your comfort zone. Ask yourself why you're doing the things that you're engaged in, and if they're helping you reach your end goal or just consuming your precious time. These questions may bring some discomfort, as you'll figure out that you have to replace some activities from your routine that do not serve a real purpose for your future. However, becoming more reflexive, structured, and analytical with your actions will pay off in the long run, especially as you get closer to achieving what you want. Be consistent and analyze your actions to improve your life. What I do still want to point out by saying these questions may bring some discomfort, as you'll figure out that you have to replace some activities from your routine that do not serve a real purpose for your future. A real purpose is also rest. A real purpose is also staying sane. A real purpose is also being happy, and a real purpose is also having relationships and keeping relationships and dealing with relationships and making sure that you're still having those relationships in a year or 2 or 3 or 5 or a decade. This is important to point out. There is value behind most things, many things, even if it might not be clear at first sight. So really think about what you're doing and what you're trying to do, what you're trying to cut out and or add. Period. See you the next time.